Tuesday feels heavy already, like something is sitting in the air over Port Charles and nobody wants to name it out loud. General Hospital spoilers for Tuesday keep circling around Portia and that phone call to Trina. And I cannot shake the feeling that this is not just some random check-in from a worried mother. No. When Portia calls like that, when she summons both Trina and Curtis at the same time, it means something is off. Something is wrong. Or at least she thinks it is. Let me try to untangle this, because even in my own head, it feels messy. Portia calling Trina alone would already be dramatic enough, considering everything that happened between them. Trina was furious, and honestly, she had every right to be. Portia lied, manipulated, made decisions that blew up trust inside her own family. That kind of damage does not disappear just because a few weeks pass. You do not just wake up one day and say, oh well, mom messed up, but we are good now. It does not work like that. Not in real life, not in Port Charles, and yet, lately, Trina has been trying. I have seen it. There was a softening in her tone, a hesitation before she snapped. It felt like she wanted to rebuild something. Not completely forgive, but maybe create a fragile bridge. So why would Portia risk that fragile progress by dragging her into something dramatic again? The pregnancy. That is where my mind goes first. Portia carrying Trina's baby brother or sister, that alone is already complicated. Trina is angry at her mother, yes, but she is not heartless. She cares about that baby. I truly believe that, even if she pretends not to sometimes. If there is any kind of health issue, even a small scare, Trina would drop everything. Pride, resentment, all of it would fade in a second. But here is what makes me uneasy. Why call Curtis too? Why make it a family summit? If this was just a routine doctor appointment or a mild concern, Portia could talk to Curtis privately. Or she could reassure Trina gently. Instead, she gathers them like she is about to deliver a verdict. That makes me think either the baby's health is at risk or something from the past is resurfacing and threatening this pregnancy. Maybe it is nothing. Maybe I am overthinking, and maybe Trina is overthinking too. It could be something simple, a test result that needs clarification, a minor complication that doctors can manage. Sometimes a show builds tension only to release it in a surprisingly soft way. And part of me hopes that is the case because Trina has been through enough. She does not need another trauma layered on top of old wounds. Still, the idea that something could be wrong with the baby is haunting. Imagine Trina standing there, trying to stay strong, trying not to cry, because she is still mad at Portia, but also terrified for that tiny life. That emotional contradiction, that is the kind of messy, painful material this show thrives on. And I would not blame Trina if she breaks down. I would not blame her if she yells either. Grief and anger can sit in the same chest at the same time. It is confusing, exhausting. Now, shifting gears, because Tuesday is not just about family drama. Turner enters the scene with a new theory about who shot Drew, and suddenly everything feels like a crime board with red strings everywhere. Turner suspecting Willow. That is bold, and honestly, disturbing. If he truly believes Willow is the shooter, then Dante and Nathan being told to stop investigating feels almost absurd. Because if Willow was already acquitted before, if she has some kind of legal shield around her, then what is the point of digging further? Unless Turner does not care about the shooting anymore. Unless his real focus is Drew's current condition. The stroke. That changes everything. What if Turner suspects that Willow's involvement did not end with the bullet? What if he thinks she somehow contributed to Drew's medical crisis? Maybe stress. Maybe something more deliberate. I know that sounds extreme, but this is General Hospital. People poison, manipulate, scheme in ways that make your head spin. And Turner, he does not strike me as someone patient. If he wants answers, he wants them fast. No more delays, no more careful steps. He might push Dante and Nathan harder than before. Demand urgency. And that kind of pressure can lead to mistakes. Or revelations. Or both. Then there is Chase. Poor Chase. Or maybe not poor, maybe responsible. Depends on how you see it. The whole keychain evidence mess is still hanging there like a ticking bomb. If Chase compromised the investigation into Michael, if he tampered or mishandled evidence, that is serious. Not just a slap on the wrist situation, that could destroy his career. Turner bringing that up again makes sense. From his perspective, the integrity of the department matters. If Michael walks free because of procedural errors, the public trust collapses. And if Chase cannot clearly explain what he did and why, he might even face accusations of deliberately framing Michael. That would be catastrophic. I feel conflicted here. Chase is not a villain in my eyes. He is flawed, yes, emotional, impulsive sometimes, but framing someone intentionally feels too dark for him. Still, intentions do not always matter in court. What matters is what can be proven, and if the evidence trail looks suspicious, he will have to pay. Meanwhile, in the Quartermain corner, Brooklyn and Tracy are having what sounds like a very loaded conversation. I can almost picture Tracy leaning back, eyes narrowed, measuring every word Brooklyn says. Brooklyn wants something. That much is clear. And Tracy wants confirmation. She wants certainty. Tracy does not support half-baked ideas. If Brooklyn is considering adoption with Chase, that is not a small decision. That is life-altering. Tracy would absolutely demand to know if this is a genuine desire or just an emotional reaction to chaos. Or maybe Tracy is probing something else. Maybe she is questioning Chase's motives regarding Michael. Is Chase targeting him out of jealousy, out of loyalty to someone else? Or is there a deeper strategic move involved? Tracy has seen decades of manipulation. She will not be fooled easily. Now back to Willow, because she is woven into everything lately. If she learns that Ned corrected Chase, that Chase is no longer easy to sway, that changes her game. Willow thrives when she can influence people quietly. If that door closes, she might panic. And a panicked Willow is unpredictable. The idea that she might try to seduce Chase, that feels dangerous. Not just morally, but narratively. Chase promised Ned he would keep his distance, keep his integrity. If she tests his loyalty, we might see him stumble. And that would hurt Brooklyn deeply. It would also prove that Willow is willing to cross any line to maintain control. I do not fully trust Willow. I know some viewers still defend her, say she is misunderstood, but the pattern is there. When she feels cornered, she manipulates. And losing Chase as a pawn would feel like losing leverage. So she might try to pull him back in. Then comes Christina. And this, I admit, I am strangely excited about. Christina confronting Willow over the congressional seat. That is explosive. Christina would never accept Willow stepping over Alexis to claim power. Not quietly, not politely. If Willow becomes the new representative in place of Drew, Christina will see it as a betrayal and insult to her mother, and Christina is not known for subtlety. I can already hear the accusations. You are not qualified, you are opportunistic, you are exploiting a tragedy. And Willow, already under pressure, might snap. If she slaps Christina, that would be the spark. Christina would not just stand there, she would retaliate. A physical fight between them would be chaotic. And if Laura witnesses it, that adds another layer. Laura, always trying to maintain order, stepping in to stop two grown women from tearing each other apart. It is almost tragic. If they get arrested, even briefly, the scandal would be massive, especially if Willow is campaigning or being considered for office. An assault charge, even minor, could derail everything. And Christina, too, would face consequences, interrogations, public scrutiny, headlines. The irony is that all of this, the family drama, the political ambition, the police investigation, it is all tangled. No storyline stands alone. Portia's pregnancy stress could influence Curtis, which could influence political alliances. Willow's legal troubles could affect Drew's legacy. Chase's career crisis could impact Brooklyn's future plans. Sometimes it feels overwhelming, like too many plates spinning. But that is also why I keep watching. The messiness, the imperfect people making imperfect decisions. Tuesday does not look calm. It looks like the kind of episode where phone calls change trajectories, where one accusation shifts alliances, where a slap echoes louder than a gunshot. And I am not even sure who I am rooting for anymore. Maybe Trina, because she feels the most human in all this. Angry but caring. Confused but trying. If there is bad news about that baby, I hope she finds strength. If it is a false alarm, I hope she breathes again. As for Willow, I think her world is narrowing. The walls are closing in. Turner is suspicious. Christina is hostile. Chase is slipping away. When a character reaches that point, they either collapse or escalate. I have a feeling she will escalate. And that makes Tuesday feel less like a simple day in Port Charles and more like the start of something unraveling. Not neatly, not predictably, but in that chaotic way this show does so well, where emotions spill over, where loyalty is tested, where love and resentment sit side by side and refuse to separate. I guess we will see, or maybe we will just be left with more questions. That is usually how it goes.